Okay, I'm going to swear now. For fuck's sakes, YouTube, what are you going on about? My God. I've been trying since 1 o'clock this afternoon to get my live up and to do my podcast. And nothing. Every time I connected onto YouTube, it would just give me the spinning wheel. And I'm really sorry about that, guys, because it's disturbed my flow. I mean, like what? I'm outside. I'm actually outside grounding. Look at this. I'm looking down. See? I'm grounding on the earth. All right. So, today, what are we talking about? I just got to get my head right. Right. Okay. Here we go. Even got notes just in case this whole thing just kind of like shook me a little bit. But hey, that's life, isn't it? That's life. And what I'm trying to talk to you about is when the static cleared. What am I trying to say? God, listen to me. Listen to my words. The static cleared for me. We've got to the stage where 2008, I'm sitting with Heather and she says to me, do you want some energy? And I'm like, energy healing. I'm like, yeah, let's try this out. I go and I get some energy healing, and I'm sitting, lying on the bed there, and I'm seeing these little red and blue things, these little bars about the size of my finger, running up and down my body, just coming like little traffic avenues, going up and down my body. It's bringing me peace. It's bringing me alignment. I can feel this buzz going on inside of me, and I'm like, whoa, this is really cool. This is absolutely something magnificent. And then all of a sudden, I not just watching this blue and red going up and down my arm, but I'm also feeling that there are I'm in a spaceship, and all of a sudden I'm sort of feeling this lightness. Okay, I'm lighter than air. I'm in this place. It's like there's this huge navigation board in front of me, but it's all sacred geometry, and I'm sitting there and I'm interpreting it. I know what it says. There's something in there that tells me I know this. And then I get this tap on the shoulder. Can you come back now? It's time to come back into your body. It's wake up and all the rest of it. I'm like, fuck, I'm enjoying this. Please don't tell me to come back. But obviously I come back. And I said, well, why did we stop? She said, Lou, you were levitating off the bed. I literally thought you were going to float off the bed. And I'm like, what? She says, yeah. And she tried to tell me, but at that particular moment, I'm like, whoa, I'm tired. But we're going to come back to that. So how did we get to this stage? Well, remember last week I was telling you about how I met Heather, how I connected with her through the Pool Girls in Wellington. And around about the 2008 period, I'd travelled from Zimbabwe, and I've now found my way back into Wellington. I found myself in Wellington, and I'm travelling around, and I'm connecting with these lesbians. I'm coming out. I'm identifying with who I truly am. I'm finding my resonance. I'm finding my peace. I'm finding my connection. And what this does is it really does follow on from the long walk out, because I'm still walking away. I'm still walking away from something that try to control me, and I'm walking into that which is allowing me to be. And I've just been connected with all the animals. The animals have come out to play with me. And down Jimmy. There we go. See, there they are. Oh, you can hear them. This is going to be a fun podcast, guys. Oh, down. No, Jimmy. Yeah, so this is going to be me, the dogs, the wind, and whatever else is out here. So there I am, and I'm trying to connect with people, and I just connect with Heather, and I click with her, and there's a couple of the other ladies that we're having fun with. We're becoming a community of people, which is what I was looking for. And everything that I experienced in that bed, I'm actually going to control myself a little today, because I don't want to get too distracted in the story. But the story is important, and what I'm trying to say in the story with everyone else is sometimes the things that happen to us, sometimes we go through things and we experience things and we don't fully grasp, we don't fully comprehend what's happening. And so we misinterpret, we misconnect, we don't put the dots in the right places, and we don't follow through. We forget, or we hear the messages incorrectly. And so for me, there I am. I'm working with Heather, and she's doing some energy work on me. All right, and in a little bit more detail. So she's reconnecting my energy body and my physical body. She's like almost rewiring me up. Okay, because she's a practitioner in a particular modality where they reconnect you in. And so I'm working with that. I'm in a place of allowance. Like, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm sort of lying on the bed. This is the first time I've ever had any type of energy work done on me. And I still have a little resonance of spiritual, church spiritual stuff going on in the back of me. Oh, you're going to go to hell sort of thing. And I must admit, I did pray. I said, dear God, please keep me safe. Only let that which needs to come to me, come to me. But I got on the table and I was open. I was open for something different. Now, I mentioned last time in the communication that I had with you guys in the podcast is that ever since I shut down when I was about 11, I got like a static tinnitus in my ear. And guys, you might think, it's just tinnitus, it's just this. But it wasn't. It was a definite noise in my ear. It was something that I'd never experienced before. My dad died, and I stopped doing the little things that I used to do. I stopped guessing what was in the presents. I stopped sort of intuiting what this gift was, unwrapping it in my mind and seeing what it was. I stopped future seeing. I stopped looking at something and going, I see this. I stopped allowing myself when my mother drove past a house to feel the energy of what was going on in that house. I stopped doing a lot of stuff that I had just played with before. And that was trauma. So I stopped doing that. Now, what happened after that is I began to get this buzz in my ear, like the radio was trying to make contact with me, or the radio waves was trying to tune into to me, and I was blocking it. And so there was the static, and I had that all the time. And I got so used to it that sometimes if I didn't hear it, I would wonder where it was. And because of this, now some of you might have a similar sort of story where you've sort of gone through life and you've experienced something, and it could be noise in the ear, it could be a gut feeling, butterflies constantly flying out of sequence, and they're not all in line, and your ducks don't stay in line, and just something just keeps happening time and time again that you go, nah man, this never happened before, but now it's happening. What's going on? And so I want you to hear my story, but I want you to start looking at it and how does it apply to you? How does it apply to your life? Because my life is not your life. My story is not your story. But you have a story that needs to be heard. You have a story that needs to be told in whatever way you tell it. So there I am. I'm on the healing bed, and I'm feeling the energy. I am literally feeling stuff enter and connect with me, and it feels like static electricity, and I'm twitching and I'm responding, and I literally saw these little tubes of light, red and blue, going down my arms. I could feel them coming down my face, neck, down my shoulders, and it was like I remember turning my head. Now, whether I literally turned my head or not, but in my sort of state of being in a trance, I sort of looked and I saw these red and blue lights going up and down my arms. I looked down on my body, and it was going up down to my feet and back up, just like sort of cars in opposite traffic lines, So I'm there, and I'm experiencing. There's this light that's around me. There's this warmth, and I'm seated in a cockpit. I'm seating. That's the only word I can use, a cockpit, because it's this really comfortable chair that literally, as I'm sitting in it, it molds itself to my back, to my legs, so that it's holding me. I'm not sitting on it. It's holding me. put my arm out, and literally I feel this static, this electrical current that's not quite electricity. It's more like a warm fluid with heat that zaps me. Okay, and it blends. It's like as I put my hand out like this, it kind of lifts up, and it's like fingers that grasp in. So if I was to say that, how can I put it? It's like there I am. This is the console, and I move my hand like this. It's almost like it just comes up and it does that, and it holds me, and it guides my hand to where I need to be. I don't see anything physically with it. I can't touch anything physically, but energetically it's all there. And so I'm doing this, and then all of a sudden these symbols start appearing on the sky. And I say the sky because it's a screen in front of me, but I see through the screen to everything that's in front of this. It's like everything is transparent, but I feel contained. And I'm touching these symbols, these sacred geometry symbols. I've never seen them in my life before. Oh, some of them are triangles. I know triangles. I know cubes and all that. And that's from my time at school where I knew the different shapes, right? But there was something about that. They were three-dimensional. They were actually morphing into different shapes. I've now learned that one was turning into the Metatron square cube, So all of these different things were happening, and I didn't know what they were, why they were there, but I felt it was right. And I was so immersed in this energy. It was like a keyboard just seemed to present itself up and position itself at a certain angle, and my fingers just started to input information. As I'm inputting information by touching these different keys, which is not like a keyboard that we know, okay? This was like, it was very different. It was like as I touched the keys, they would literally sink back into this goop that was like liquid, like a plasmic, and a new one would appear, and it was just the most amazing thing. Anyway, I'm enjoying this. I'm having fun. The light surrounding me. There's just so much energy. I can feel something cracking in here in my chest area, and when I say cracking, it's like something is just like peeling back. And then as I go through it, I'm feeling that there's this tightness around my head that seems to be almost like something or someone is pulling it out and pulling it away. And excuse me a minute, Jimmy, no, leave it. Good boy, leave it. So he's just decided that he wants to play silly buggers with his blanket, and that's not going to happen. So there I am. I've got all of these emotions, all of these feelings, all of these senses happening. And as I say, the next minute, Heather's just tapping me on the shoulder and saying, okay, it's time for you to come back. It's time for you to sort of connect in back with the reality of where you're at. And I go, but why? I'm not ready to come back. And she said, sweetheart, she didn't call me sweetheart then. She was like, well, Louise, you were floating off the bed. You were literally, I was actually concerned that you were going to float off the healing table. And no, got to remind the dog who's in charge. And I was like fascinated. I was actually floating. And now here's the weird thing. I actually did feel at one time that I was elevated and that I was floating, that I had a blanket of warmth or something underneath my body. And that was confirmation for me when she said to me, you've got, you were connecting and you were lifting up off the table. There was something that was strange, and so I came back, and here's the weird thing. After I came back, I was quite energized, and then all of a sudden it was like bang, something. It was like okay, so now I'm back in body. Now it's like reality hits, and I was exhausted. I suddenly just felt, boff, like no energy whatsoever. I didn't realize that this was still part of the healing that was taking place, this energetic healing that was taking place in my body. But I said, I've got to go lie down. So I went and I lay down. I think I passed out, went to sleep for 2 hours in the middle of the day, and that's not like me at all. And I remember as I was in the sleep, I was like having a bit of a dream still, where I felt like somebody was playing with my ears. Not playing as in like tickle, tickle, but actually sort of like working around, doing something to my ears, like pulling something out, or I don't know, but it was like, it was there. It was this definite pressure in my ears. And I wake up and I suddenly go, something's different. And I have this sense inside of me that there's something inside of me that needs to be spoken. I need to get something out. So I go looking for Heather and I say, I need to say something. I need to sit down and actually communicate something to you. So we go, okay. And, she went, okay. And she said, well, I tell you what, because you've just had this healing and this energy work, let's record this. And back in the day, back in 2008, we still had the old tape recorders, right? The not quite the 8-track, but we had the tapes and the tape recorders. So we recorded it, and basically for the first time in my life outside of the church, I channeled a message to her, and that's when Platorans, my Palladian mentor, first spoke through me. And if I'm honest, I can't exactly remember everything that was said, but basically he started to talk to Heather and basically said they had been waiting for this moment, waiting for the moment to turn the radio back on, because I had turned the radio dial off. And that's what the static was. The static had just been this constant noise, but it was them trying to communicate to me, and me being, no, I'm not going to listen. I don't want to listen. I don't want to listen. I don't want to listen. Because if I listened, it would take me back to before my dad had died, where I was happy. And so I associated those sort of things, you see. So for them, it was like, oh, thank God that she's turned the radio back on. And it literally was like, and here is the news. Today we are reporting that so-called individual called Louise has now removed the earmuffs from her ears and is now able to hear all that which is the spiritual connection and is now tuning in to the masters. So we would like to please welcome Louise back to the spiritual community. I'm being a little bit silly, but you get what I'm saying. And ever since then, I have felt the team. I've felt them as they begin to speak to me. I hear get this warmth at the back of my head, on my shoulders, like I call it love washes. And I look back at my life where this is concerned, and I remember getting that same warmth when I was with Sandy and the other two. I've got Tumi and the girl, the three of these energies that were like children that came and played with me in my sandpit back in Zimbabwe, back in Rhodesia, as a child. I got that same joy, that same feeling of buzzy, warm, yeah, my friends are here, to when I channel now, and I get that feeling of somebody putting their hand on my shoulder, just about here, obviously coming from behind, so it's like this, and that assurance, it's okay, speak. And it is the most amazing thing for me. And what I'm asking is, what gift have you shut down? My gift was connection to energy. When my dad died, I shut that gift down. I shut it down because I didn't know. I was afraid. I was scared. My father had passed away. I was terrified of what the future was going to hold, and I needed to grow up. That's what everybody told me. Grow up, Stop playing with your imaginary friends. But they weren't, I realize, my imaginary friends. And so my challenge to you guys, those who listen to this, is what gift have you locked away because you were afraid, you were told to grow up, you didn't know what you were doing, you felt the energy but didn't understand it, it maybe scared you? Because there is so much in the world that we have today around us. There's so much that we can actually heal from and truly connect into our own higher self. Hello, baby girl. And sorry, that they really want to play as well. But guys, I want you to look at who you are, where you are in life, and know that you are truly in a place of deep connection. And know that wherever we go, wherever we are, there we are. And we have a choice. We can begin to connect with ourselves, our higher selves, and ask, what gift have I lost? And maybe not lost. Lost might be a too strong a word, because we might have just put it on the shelf because we didn't know what to do with it. So I'm asking you, is there something that perhaps you might have put on the shelf due to circumstances and situations growing up around you? Or maybe you had an event in your life that could have been traumatic, that either shut you down or opened you up to something, and because you didn't, if it opened you up and you had no friggin' idea what the fuck was going on, you shut down. You closed that door. There are people out here, myself included, that can help you reopen that door. I'm being honest. There's loads of people out there, including myself, that can help you open that door. Oops, gonna kick the ball. It's starting to rain. I'm not gonna belabor the fact, but if you do want to reach out to me, if you do want to ask me questions, if you do want to ask, how do I do this? Reach out to me. How do I open up? How do I disconnect from the fear and that which I've locked myself away from? Reach out. Let's have a chat. But remember, just because something happened in your past that locked you up, that shut you down, doesn't mean that it has to be forever. Because you can always open the doors. You can always reopen doors. You just have to know if you want to. You just have to have that right connection, that right, I'm ready. And when you are ready, it's amazing what happens. It's amazing how you connect in with yourself and you open your doors and you open your way of connecting. So remember, guys, I'm here. Heather's here. Together we are It Is Cosmic. Together we are ready and willing to assist you on your journey as you travel into your ascension, as you begin to open up. And talking of my beautiful wife, she's right here. I'm going to call her into the framework. We are It Is Cosmic, and we appreciate you, all the views. Subscribe, like. Hey, and come on over to our It Is Cosmic School. We've got a lot of stuff going on there. Mwah. Love you, sweetheart. Bye, everybody.
See ya.